Sports Interview. I'm Logan Nestor. The Emory and Henry football team is 3-2 on the season. They're coming off a 27-21 loss to Washington and Lee last Saturday. With me today, I have wide receiver Josh Smith. Josh, you're the leading wide receiver for the team this year as a junior and your first year as a starter. What's made that possible?
I think I'm in a good offense. We have a good quarterback with Kyle Bowden, who's really smart. He delivers the ball on time, and we definitely have a real good core of wide receivers, along with an experienced offensive line that makes it happen.
And you're a guy who some guys come in, they go straight to varsity. You played a year on JV. You weren't a starter last year. Talk about a little bit about the perseverance that it's taken to be on the team for 3 years. Your third year, you're finally getting playing time. Do you feel like that's made you a better player?
Absolutely. I don't think people realize at the Division III level, you sort of have to wait your turn a little bit. You have to come in, and there's a lot of freshmen, and you have to just work hard and wait for your opportunity. And I find myself in my junior year, and my opportunities here, and I'm just trying to make the most of it.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the guys, you talk about waiting your turn, some of the guys who are maybe wide receivers ahead of you who have really helped you get to where you are?
Sure. My freshman year, we had a receiver named Preston Jennings. He had like 21 catches in a game. He set the school record for that, I know. But he was real smart, and he had been a starter for several years. So as a freshman, I always wanted to pay attention to what he did and pick up on what he did. And I've tried to do that. I noticed that he was real good with film. He's a real smart player, and I try to be like that as well. And also last year, a guy who I play with this year as well, Chad Williams. He's a lot like Preston. He's real smart and very athletic, and I just try to learn from them as much as I can.
You talk about learning from them, but what do you feel like you bring to the table as a wide receiver? What is your biggest asset to the team?
I don't know. To be honest, I know I give everything I have on every play and play hard, and that's pretty much all you can do.
Absolutely. And, you played on JV. They have about a 4-game season. Do you feel like JV actually helped you become a better player, or is that kind of a placeholder for a year?
Well, it is a short season, only a few games, but during the season, every day you get an opportunity at practice, and you just have to try to get better every day at practice. And then when you do get your opportunity in the JV games, make the most of it.
And you're a fairly local guy from Radford. Talk about your recruitment process.
Actually, in high school, I was real big into basketball. Football was just sort of number two to me, and I really loved basketball. Had a lot of success with that. And then I came to a summer camp, the summer football camp here, before my senior year, and I met all the coaches, Coach Johnson and Coach Grandy and Coach Montgomery. And throughout my senior year in high school, Coach Grandy kept in contact with me pretty good. He actually came to a few basketball games, and it worked out to where I saw football as a good opportunity for college, so that's why I'm here.
And you talk about football being a good opportunity for college. Was Emory and Henry on the list even if it wasn't for football, or did football bring you to campus?
Well, I visited Washington and Lee and Bridgewater and Emory and Henry. I visited a lot of ODAC schools, and it was all three were for football, really. So I just knew that this just felt like the right fit. It was close to home. Coach Grandy, like I said, he recruited me. He was calling me almost every day, and it just felt like the right fit here.
All right, now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about team success. The team right now, 3-2, got off to a great start, 3-0. They floundered a little bit as of late with 0-2 start. First, let's talk about that 3-0 start. What was going right at the beginning of the year to make the team 3-0 to open the season?
Well, we just executed well. We had a lot of both offensively and defensively. Against Methodist, we scored 61 points, so it's hard to argue with that. But I wouldn't say that the last 2 games we haven't executed well. We just, to be honest, it's just better competition.
Right, and you talk about some of that better competition. Some of the teams that really stick out, Washington Lee, Hampton Sydney, Randolph-Macon, another one of those teams, kind of the elite of the ODAC. What is it going to take for Emory and Henry to be able to compete with them and win more games than not against some of that elite competition?
I think we certainly have the talent and the coaching staff to compete for sure and to win. I think there's just we're so close and we have been for so long. Just you can go back through the film after the games and see little mistakes and stuff like that. But I definitely say we hold our own.
And then Hampton Sydney coming up next week. What's the locker room like? A really tough loss against Washington Lee in the last minutes of the game. Hampton Sydney, another team that's right on that level, some of the elite in the ODAC. What's the locker room like? Is it discouraged? Is it excited to play Washington Lee and get back out there?
It's definitely excited. Like you said, it was a tough loss against Washington Lee, but as a competitor, the first thing that you want to do after a tough loss is to get right back out there and do it again. And I know that it's homecoming weekend, it's a big weekend, and Hampton Sydney was picked to win the conference, and they're the top of the region right now. So we really have nothing to lose. We're ready to go.
All right, and you talk about it being homecoming weekend, so a big game. Something like 15,000 people are expected to be on campus at some point during this week. Talk about that atmosphere. Is that something you relish?
Oh, most definitely. I think when you show up at a game and just around campus, you get an electric atmosphere. It really excites you, and it's why you're here.
All right, and you know, Josh, some success for this team, 3-2. You got a lot of games left in the season. What does the success of your football team mean to you as an individual?
It means a lot. We have a large senior class this year and junior class, and I know that we've been together for 3 or 4 years, and not only are we teammates, but we're good friends. So it's pretty cool when you can play with some of your best friends and have a lot of success on the football field, and it really means a lot.
All right, thanks, Josh, for being here, and absolutely good luck against Hampton Sydney coming up this week. This has been the EHC TV Sports Interview with Josh Smith, junior wide receiver for the football team. Huge game coming up against Hampton and Sydney this Saturday at Fred Self Stadium. I'm Logan Nestor, and we'll send it over to our next segment.